Hi, hello, how's it going? Alright? Shooting Dave here, welcome back guys, so good to see your faces. Today we're doing another tutorial on light painting. Which car in particular? It's Tony's amazing Datsun 240Z, a car that I light painted for Japanese Performance Car Magazine. Now, I adore this car. The car is perfect. I actually said to Tony there's only two colours that I would have wanted to light paint. This colour, which is like a coppery brown, or a nice electric blue. Fortunately, he turned up with an amazing colour combination on this car. And I tried something a little bit different when lighting it. Now, rather than trying to light each side of the car separately and combine those in Photoshop, I thought maybe I'm overcomplicating a little bit. So I tried to simplify it a little bit, and that meant that I tried light painting it in one single pass. That's right, that's going all the way around the car, lighting the front, the side and the rim of the car in a single exposure. Can it be done? Well, it turns out it can, and I'm pretty happy with the results. So I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of an editing breakdown, show you a time lapse of me editing this in both Lightroom and Photoshop. Now, if you're wondering what kind of light I use to light this, you can check out this video up here. But for now, just enjoy the time lapse. Okay, well, I kind of ballsed up a little bit there, and there isn't actually a screen catcher, so I thought I'd walk you through the image myself. It's probably more helpful for you guys. Anyway, so here's the completed image inside Photoshop, and what we'll do is I'll just turn off everything and we'll start with the background. I normally like to start building the background so I can kind of get a vibe as to how I want to light the vehicle. So let's shut everything off. So background layout was mainly just me standing still and holding the light in a single place to cast a shadow and light up the floor. This way it kind of makes like a natural looking shadow, and I really quite like doing that rather than just having either a pool of light around the car where you've been light painting, and this tends to, you know, keep things looking a bit more natural. I did some minor adjustments in it, just a bit of hue saturation, like taking out some of that saturation because the floor down here, it just looks a little too orange, so I just neutralised that a little bit. I then also added a bit of contrast to the background, just using a simple curves by like dropping the shadows down and then just reducing the highlights as well, so they're not quite so hot, it's just a bit more, you know, muted. And then I added a different background exposure, which is actually just using this these crates up here, so I just shone the light towards the background and these crates in the background just to bring it out so there's a bit more depth to the image. Overall, I just gave it a little bit more of a boost, so kind of nullifying the point of this one down here, but yeah, just lifting the shadows up but maintaining the highlights without those going too nuclear. And then we also added in tail lights from the car, so just basically turn the lights on for the vehicle and let those tail lights bleed out, and I felt like this needed a bit more boosting, so just added a curves adjustment to that. So anyway, the bit we've all been waiting for is the car. So as you can see, bam, one exposure and we've got the entire car lit. If I actually let's disable the mask on the group so you can see. Basically, I just walked around from camera left all the way round the back of the car and then down the right hand side towards the camera again. So that was just one exposure, and that's the main bulk of the lighting done. And this is a big first for me. I don't normally light the paint of the car in one exposure, but I want to cut down the amount of work I do. So yeah, I thought this might be an interesting thing to try. It also helps make sure that all the light reflections match up from side to side rather than, you know, having to go all the way around and try and line up the lights, line up the reflections on each side of the vehicle. Just added a curves adjustment to that, just driving some contrast in there, so dropping the shadows down a little bit and pushing the highlights up. And for safety, I did do some additional exposures, so I added a little one from a different exposure. So this one's again going all the way around the car at a different height, and I just brushed in a little bit of it down here on the side because I quite like the reflection of the floor. I thought that was quite nice, and it kind of helps build or bring out this character line in the vehicle as well. So sometimes when you light paint, paints go a little bit matte looking, so I felt like this reflection was kind of key there to help retain some of the glossiness. Another pass I had was just for the hood, so I really wanted just to bring out the louvers over here. So if we turn this off, you can see like some of this area down here gets a little bit lost, and I just wanted to pull that back. So if we have a little zoom in at here, you can actually see these louvers are just like exaggerated a little bit, and that's pretty nice. I like that. And then from there was just I felt like the front of the vehicle looks a little dead, so I added in an extra pass which was concentrating mainly on the front of the car, and then again just darkening that down. Now in hindsight, I've looked at this image for a long time now, and I must admit I actually prefer it without this, but you know, it's in there, it helps pull out the front splitter without that being lost into the background, but it could have easily been done without. And then on top of all of that, it's just another headlights pass, and that's basically it. There is nothing else to it other than some minor adjustments inside Lightroom. And if you have a look at what we did, we kind of stayed pretty true to the original image if we toggle before and after. There wasn't a huge amount done in the standard adjustments. We just boosted the shadows a little bit, dragged down the black point, added a little bit of clarity, not plus 100 clarity, Alex, if you're watching, and then also pumped in some vibrance and also desaturated the image a little bit. And then there's a minor push of blue into the shadows and a drop of blue in the highlights. That will introduce a little bit more yellow into there. I didn't do anything for the green channel or the red channel, but on the RGB I did actually just put a slight S-curve in there just to give it a little bit of more punch. So if you turn this off, this is where the main bulk of the color grading is done. I like to use curves. I just find it a very natural way to color grade my images and put contrast in there, so most of it's done in there. And then really wanting to exaggerate this car paint, this like orangey copper color, so pushing up the red and pushing up the orange in there just to make that pop off the image quite nicely. And then just some sharpening, so quite an aggressive amount, slightly larger radius than I normally use, and pushing quite a lot more detail in there. But then again, I also masked this out, so at 63, so only the white areas of that image will be sharpened. A little bit of noise reduction, not that it really needs it. This is shot at ISO 100, so there won't be any noise, but I just put a little bit in there. Sometimes there's a cheating way of making paints just look a little cleaner. Don't want to go too much, you'll lose a lot of the detail. But yeah, that's it. Okay, well there you have it. Hopefully you found that useful. You may have noticed that I did all of my color grading in Lightroom. Now that's down to personal preference, so you of course can color grade inside Photoshop, and the reason why I color grade inside Lightroom is so that once I've assembled the images in Photoshop, I then like to do the final grade in Lightroom, and that way I can make sure it's consistent across every single shot rather than to open them all up inside Photoshop. It's just the way I like to do it. You might think otherwise. Now, as you can see, the car was lit mainly using one light pass. Now, of course, the background was lit using several others. There's no way I could do this entire image in a single exposure. I mean, maybe I can, maybe that's a challenge I'll set myself in the future, but I really enjoyed light painting this car. It was so rewarding to get the car done in one pass, and then a pass for the background, headlights, and tail lights reflecting on the background. Pretty happy with how it came out. You guys clearly liked it on Instagram, so thank you for your support. And don't forget, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you've got anything else or any questions you'd like to know. And subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.